So, who am I? Where did I come from? I am the woman behind the story. This is Unfiltered and Unstoppable. Thanks for joining, you guys. This is the first episode. So, as time goes on, I'm sure they'll get better. This is probably going to be some cheesy episode. We'll see how it goes. I've been having some difficulties today with technology, and I'm pretty tech savvy. Um, so I'm an executive, I'm a consultant, I'm a mother, I'm a survivor. Um, I've been homeless. I have I've struggled significantly. I think I've had my time. Um, I've lost family. I've lost friends. What can I say? I guess this is just going to be unfiltered and unstoppable because I now am at the point where I just don't care who knows my story and who doesn't. If it's going to help someone, hopefully not go through what I've been through, then even if it's just one person, I'm going to put my shit on blast like nobody's business because I don't care. I don't care what people think anymore. Um, it took a long time to get here. I will tell you that. It took a long time for me not to care. I used to have a problem with judgment. Bad. My biological mother used to always tell me I looked stupid. I just wanted to be cool. I wanted to show off. And that really was never the case. I was very, in those days, I was very young and shy and had social anxiety. Like, I don't know why she thought that. I don't know why that perception was, but it was what it was. And so I automatically always thought people were judging me, and they were. And still, I mean, people judge. That's what they do. I don't judge. I like to joke, have fun with people. Mostly I joke about myself. But I do not like being judged because I don't judge people. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, so I don't want to be judged. But, anyways, here we go. So, I was born in Modesto, California. I was raised in Escalon, California, a very small town, little Portuguese town, little dairy town. I don't know what it looks like now, but back then, when I was younger, little, I won't date myself. Um, It was a small little Portuguese town where we had festas and, you know, food, massa salada, all these little things that we did. The rodeos that we went to, little tiny quaint town. Um, those years, so my grandparents are from the Azores, from Portugal. They came in like the late 50s or early 60s. Um, they migrated over here. They went to Massachusetts and then migrated to California, which is where I showed up. They are the ones that raised me, so I call them mom and dad. Mãe and pai is what it is in Portuguese. Um, they are my parents, and they are also a part of some of the stories of where we'll get into of some of the grief, right? Because we have to deal with grief at times and know how to process it. But those, when I say mom and dad, biologically, they're my grandparents. When I say sister, biologically, it's my aunt. But she was the youngest, and so I always ran with her and um, had fun playing on the dairy. My biological mom, she was young and really, I think she had to kind of grow up. So it wasn't really too much a part of her life. I was with my grandparents, and I had a good life. I was raised on the dairy, milking cows, the smell of the barn, the smell of cow shit. I loved it. It was great. It was a fun little life. Um, yeah, my mom taught me so much, how to cook, how to grow plants. We always trimmed roses, and it was a great life growing up. So I don't have an excuse for my younger years other than my biological mom kind of coming in and out and taking me away from them at times was difficult, but everybody goes through their own things. I mean, none of us are great parents, right? It doesn't come with a book. We're not perfect. Um, we just do the best that we can. So that is that. Let's see. What else can I tell you about me right now? Just so you guys know, my upbringing gave me a strong work ethic, resilience. They really taught me, my parents taught me that you need to work. And they worked hard. My mom, she couldn't. She ended up with colon cancer, and so she had to stay home. But she was a very good homemaker. She was always there for my dad, and whether he was coming home at 2 a.m., depending on when he was milking cows, or um, if he had an early shift and coming at 4 p.m., she always had food on the table for him. So it was great. I had a great, upbringing. I will say that. Okay, enough about all that mushy stuff. I really wanted to just give you guys a sense of my upbringing. I was not rich. I was super poor, actually, um, but it was a really good life. I did not go without at all, and I was kind of spoiled because I was basically the youngest. I was the baby. Um, yeah. So, what I do want to say is that through all of this, life happened. Right? We grow up. We grow up. We have to get jobs, and things happen, and all of that in between. There's a lot for me to go into. The reason I came up with this channel is because I had a sense, I felt a calling. I felt that it would be worth sharing some of my stories um, with others, to even if it's just one person I can help, um, to give them a sense of knowing that you're not alone. I've always been like I said, an executive over 20 years now in healthcare. Um, my image at work was very different than what was behind closed doors. My jobs were very stressful. I had a lot of employees that attacked me. I didn't feel it was very fair because I would never attack someone and go after their job. That's very evil. And I had to deal with a lot of evil because I was holding people accountable. I had really great staff too. I mean, great staff, but the ones that just didn't want to work, those are the ones that came after me. And, you know, it was hard. It was really hard because, again, remember, I don't like judgment. I don't want to be judged in the first place. And then lies being said was really difficult because now they're messing with my job. And that's where a lot of things started. A lot started with, my youngest daughter, her father and I, we had 50-50 custody, and that was tough because she was in Wyoming half of the year, and I was in California. She was in California the other half. So that was hard. She didn't get to be with me the whole time like my oldest did. So there was a lot of guilt there. I couldn't live in Wyoming. I honestly wanted to just fall off the face of the planet, fall off the face of the earth when I lived there. It just, nothing against it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Wyoming. It's just not for a California girl. That's for sure. I will say that. So there were a lot of things that impacted my mental health. I started to get severe anxiety. I went through an event in California where I ended up getting PTSD. I've actually been held hostage twice. Yeah, and there's some things that I've got a lot to tell you guys. But those things that we go through, the thing that we call life, help shape us, inform us into who we are today, right? And what appears to be on the outside isn't the truth of what's always going on, because I'm a really good actor. When I went to work, I had a game face on. There was a mask for sure, but there was a lot going on behind closed doors, a lot throughout years, you know. Like I said, the hostage thing, I mean, that was crazy. I'm lucky I got out in both situations, um, but it shaped me, and I believe that, you know, people go through things because they have to learn something. So I'm just thankful that I'm still here to be able to share some of these stories, because I'm hoping that nobody has to go through some of this. Now, throughout my career, I was, like I said, I had anxiety, then developed PTSD, um, nightmares, all kinds of things. And what did I do to get rid of it? I decided to drink. I wanted to cope. I didn't know how to cope. I mean, I did a I, I did a doctorate in metaphysics, and I learned a lot. So I had the skills there, but when you get so scared or anxious, it's you just can't think straight. And then when you drink, it makes it even worse. So I lost my skill set for a minute, and I needed help bad. So with, you know, going through all of these events, I call them, um, we're going to talk and we're going to discuss, you know, trauma, toxic relationships, um, your mental health and well-being. I don't like taking prescriptions, um, but apparently I like to drink. Now it disgusts me. And this is very recent, you know, that I had to really go through some things and experience some stuff to learn and get those tools back that I knew I already had, but forgot. It took me a minute to get me to this place again. And I'm glad I'm here. And I want you to be there as well. Like I said, um, we can all put our game face on and pretend that we're okay. But if we truly aren't, it's it's really wise to try to seek some help. Your life will change. I will tell you that. I was living in misery. It really was. I mean, I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't even know if it was sunny outside, if it was raining. I didn't know. I didn't care, honestly. Um, and, you know, there's some of these events that kept popping up, and I just, I needed to get help, and I did. We'll go into all of that. But my goal today was to just share who I am, where I came from. I'm not a perfect person. I have my own faults. Definitely not like an angel or, um, but I do know that I've been through a lot, and probably you have too if you're watching this. You've probably been through hell and back. Maybe you've been homeless. Um, maybe you've had a problem, whether it be alcohol, whatever it is, um, drugs. You know, you you just need like somebody to talk to, or somebody to just hear you out, because that's what I needed. And then I needed to learn some tools. Um, and I want you to know that you're not alone. And if you're on this channel and you're listening and you're a supporter, you know, I'm going to bring my oldest daughter on here, and we're going to discuss, you know, some of the challenges that she went through dealing with me, you know, when I couldn't be present. I worked a lot. My jobs were very stressful. Running hospitals it's not an easy thing in my roles. It's not, that's for sure. Um, but I love it. It's something that I do like doing. it was very stressful. And raising kids and going to school was tough. It was tough. So I think to hide is what alcohol did for me. I got to hide. I was able to hide, and everything went away for that moment. Everything was great for that moment. And then the next day would come. And I was like, I have to face it, right? Or I could drink. I will tell you, the best thing that you can do if you are in that position is just stop, because it will just go on and on and on, and you will be in a shit show spiral like I was, because it doesn't stop. You just want to keep numbing the pain, numbing the guilt, numbing the embarrassment, the shame, not dealing with shit. Um, but what you can do is put your big girl panties on and fucking deal with it. Deal with it, whatever it is you're going through. I went through deaths. I went through quite a bit, especially this last year too. My God, um, I lost my mom and my best friend like in a month and a half, and that was tough. That was really tough. But you have to overcome that. You know, I think my favorite quote would have to be, "It's not how hard you fall, it's how quick you get up." And I believe that, because I've found myself in a long, long depression and anxiety for years, And then I've also seen myself, okay, you know what, Jess, get the fuck up. You need to do this. Like, come on, get it. And then I just bounce up, and I feel great when I do that. So I want people to know that you can do it. If I could do it, you can do it. I promise you that. Um, these events and things that we go through does not shape us. It's not us. You can be a different person than you were 5 seconds ago. You could be a different person than you were 5 minutes ago. Give yourself grace and patience, because the more you judge yourself, the more you're going to keep going down that hole, because you're beating yourself up. And if you allow others to beat you up, what do? You're going to do whatever your drug of choice is, whatever that may be, because you want to get away from it. So I'm here to tell you that this shit is about to get real. I know I'm sounding serious right now, and there's going to be ups and downs, because there's a lot of crap. There's a lot of crap that we can go through. But I want you to know that you're not alone. And I want you to be unfiltered and unstoppable. If you want to join and do an interview, if you've gone through things that you'd like to share, please let me know. Reach out to me. My website is in the links below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because if you like this content, I know this is the first one, but as we go through, and this was probably super boring, as we go through these episodes, and as you get to meet people and hear their stories, you'll realize that there's a lot of people out there that we're not perfect. No one is. So you can pretend all day, you can act like it. It's not going to get you anywhere, though. So as we go through, anyways, if you like my content and you want to hear more, you have to hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see each other on the next episode.